Hey brothers and sisters, welcome to my channel. I'm Groovy Kim. My channel is all about ways that you can help yourself to heal. And creativity is a wonderful way to meditate, to calm your nervous system, even lower your blood pressure. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It really helps my channel to get noticed. Also, if you'd like to contribute to my channel, I'd really appreciate that. There's an icon called Super Thanks underneath this video that you can click on to contribute. Thanks. Let's get started. Today's video, I would like to go ahead and turn this ordinary cardboard box into something really special. You see, my mother-in-law has a birthday coming up, and I thought I'd use my creativity to make something ordinary like a cardboard box into something extraordinary. You're not going to want to miss this. It turns out really cool. Let's get started. All right. First thing I want to do is remove the staples here that are in this box. And I've got this little pair of jewelry pliers. And you could probably use a staple pull too. I don't know where my staple pull is right at the moment, so I figured a little pair of pliers ought to work pretty good. There we go. Loosen up an end. My goodness. Okay. Maybe that's not a good idea. I'm gonna have better luck with a screwdriver getting it underneath there. I feel like I'm tearing up the box a little bit. There we go. I just have to work at it and be a little careful. Now I'm going to replace these because it'll come undone. I'll go ahead and glue this back together after I get the staples out. Okay? Meet you back after I'm done here. All right, after a ton of searching, I found my glue. I was gonna blame it on the cats. They weren't going for it. I also want to get all the tape off. The tape is glossy and plastic, and I'm going to cover this with paper and Mod Podge. So, oh, I forgot a staple. Looky there. So, I guess I should hold this a minute. We'll do the old switcheroo. Get it to stick. Feels like it's adhering pretty good now. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let those dry for just a minute and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to take a napkin and I'm going to open it up. And this happens to be single ply already, but if you have one that's 2-ply, you're going to want to pull it apart and make sure that you only have 1 ply. Okay? Now let's take a portion of your box here. And I'm just going to wrap it, kind of like you would a present. Let's see here. Maybe I should go around this direction. Well, let's get it the same width this way. This is all trial and error, folks. I'm making this up as I go along. And you know what? Sometimes that is what takes to create a really unique treasure, because it comes from your heart, from your soul. You might even say from the Akashic field. You're downloading the creativity. You're not overthinking it. You just let it happen. Let it flow. See it in your mind's eye, and just as if you're watching an instructional video like this. When you create on your own, just kind of see it in your mind's eye and just follow those instructions that you're downloading. Now you want to be careful and not get it too wrinkly, although a little bit is fine because it adds texture. The napkin itself has texture on it too, and that's just going to add more interest when we paint it in the end. I'm getting this Mod Podge way up on my brush, higher than I wanted to. Be careful not to dip it too deep. Have some napkins nearby to help yourself. All right, you don't want to go over and over it too much because you could tear the paper. Just get it saturated. And I'm going to set this down. Easier to hang on to here. I keep dipping my brush too deep. I'm used to an empty jar. I didn't realize this was brand new. That's what you call a happy accident. This Mod Podge stuff is wonderful. You can do so many cool things with it. First time I ever used Mod Podge, I think I was probably about the 3rd grade. I've been playing with it off and on my whole life. It's just too cool. You can do too many cool things with it. All right, now I'm starting to get some bubbles. So you want to work out as many of those as you can. But, you know, again, texture, it'll dry and it'll be fine. I wouldn't worry about it because it just adds interest. But, you know, you don't want big giant bubbles in there. That one is... Here's another little trick. You can take a pin. In this case, I'm going to use my staple I pulled out earlier. And if you find a big bubble that you just can't quite get out, you can always poke a little hole in it. Let the air out. It's just paper. See there? I kind of smoothed out some of that air. Poke a little hole. The Mod Podge will seal it, so don't worry. You don't want to do a sweeping motion and tear it. You just want to poke. Just in and out real quick to let the air out. And stop messing with it like I am. It's so much fun, you guys. It's hard to stop. It's just too cool. I'm just, you know what I'm doing? I'm just kind of going around and seeing if there's any real thin spots that I could use just, could use just a little more. Reinforce those corners good. This one looks like it's... And the other thing is you don't want to take too long because it does start setting up. You want to put your jar away and wash your brush. And, all right, guys, see you back in a bit. Okay, so that was the lid, and now we're going to do the bottom of the box. I'm just going to go around this way. Try to measure it so it hits the bottom. Go around this way. And I'm just gonna draw a line, a little creaser with my fingernail. I'm just wrapping it around into the bottom. And then I'm gonna take my brush and just start getting it wet and smoothing it on. Once you get a little edge of it, the rest goes a lot faster. Start tacking it down. And the reason why we're Mod Podging this with paper first is because it provides a really nice surface to work with if you're going to paint or glue things onto it. And it'll dry not super hard, but it certainly gives the box strength from just being regular cardboard. This is a pretty sturdy little box to begin with. But even if you had a more flimsy box, by treating it with this Mod Podge, you add a little strength because it will dry. And then if you add decoration and other stuff, of course that's going to strengthen it even more. All right, we want to make sure we don't have big lumps on the edge because we're going to want that box to, the lid, excuse me, we're going to want the lid to fit good. All right, let's trim this off so I can continue around the bottom. At this point, I'm going to set it down. And let's go up and over this direction. Cut that corner off so I can glue it down. And this, putting the paper will also seal around the corners of the box. All right, now carefully check these corners in here and smooth them out a little more. I had a whole lot of Mod Podge in the corner there. I don't want it to be too dry, too lumpy. Okay, we've got one more side here on the end, and then this whole thing will be covered. And this is the lid. Yeah, because it's bigger. So that's the box. This is the lid. All right, one more piece of paper, and let's go with this side. This is just a little too uneven for my liking because it's sticking out in the bottom there. So get in here. This is getting harder to hold on to because it's wet. If your box is thin, this is a thick box. If it's a thin box you're working with, you'll want to maybe do this in a couple of light coats so you don't get your box too wet and it gets misshapen. Because this Mod Podge is very wet. It'll dry nice, but it is wet. So in your work, you know, cardboard is paper, so it will soak up some of the moisture. This is a good little brush. I didn't want to mess it up, and I want to be able to use it again and again. So you don't want this stuff to dry in it. So just some plain water works really good. Just mix it around. And then when you're all done, just use some soap and water. But for now, since I'm still using it, I'm just going to wipe it off. Just plain water works great. See? All right, guys. Meet you back after these are dry. I think it takes a couple of hours. If you're going to build it up, you need to allow at least 20 to 30 minutes in between times, it says. So I saturated that pretty good. I'll bet you it's going to be more like 40, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour before it's dry. But we'll come back and see. We'll test, all right? Okay. They're still just slightly tacky, but dry enough to where I can go ahead now and line the insides. So I've already cut out a couple of pieces here that'll fit down in there nicely. And now we're just going to Mod Podge those in place. Alright. Kind of helps if you hold one end in place with your fingers as you tack the other end in. I'll try to hold this up so you can see here. Once you tack it in, it's awfully hard. You're not going to be able to move it. So get one end tacked the way you want it, and then just kind of hold it as you go along. Get down in the cracks. And it doesn't matter if it fits exactly, because we're going to paint over all of this. We're basically just giving us a surface to paint. Alright, cool. We're going to let those dry and meet you back here. Alright, these are pretty well dry now, so I'm going to go ahead and mix up some paint. I just have some acrylics here. I've got some white, and I've got some burnt umber, sienna, a little bit of magenta, and some bronze and some gold. Okay. Oh, I'm going to need some black too. I just realized. Aha! Black. Okay, so these are all just acrylics. And I'm going to just, I think I want it to be mostly brown with some like bronzy, goldy type highlights. Kind of autumn colors. All right, let's start with some burnt umber. And some raw umber. Ooh, that's really dark. And let's give it a little bit of bronze. Not a lot though, because we want to add some bronze highlights later. And what else do I have here? Well, how mauve-y is this mauve? Oh, that's nice. Let's get a little mauve on the side. That looks autumn. And Maybe just a dab of white on the side to lighten some things up if I need to. okay. They came out pretty good. They're still just a tiny bit damp, but not enough to not be able to handle. I can paint the bottoms now. All right. Try to mix up the same tones I had going. I'm not going to need nearly as much this time. That was burnt umber. This is burnt sienna. And this is mauve. Oh, there was a puddle of water in there still. That was kind of cool. Oh, this is so much easier to just do the bottoms and not have to spin it around and try to get all the sides and the inside. This is going on a lot easier. There. And it's kind of like a highlight around the edges. Alright. Alright, so I'm back now. And the paint is nice and dry. And I wanted to make sure that the lid is still fitting after all that layer of paper and decoupage and paint. And yeah, looks like it fits. It still fits. I'm afraid to push it all the way down. It might be tough to get off, but it still fits. Yay! All right. Next step, we are going to decorate the top. See how pretty that is? All right. Fix my light here. Tipping over. There we go. That's better. Okay. I've got this stuff. It's moldable foam clay. It's also known as cosplay. This is a knockoff. It's much cheaper than cosplay. And I got it on Amazon. And it's a foam clay. It's non-toxic and it's air dry. It takes a couple of hours to dry. So, or not a couple of hours, excuse me. It takes a couple of days to dry. And it's really soft and pliable. And what's really nice about this stuff is that it is very moldable, including in push molds. And I've got this wonderful texture mold with all these pretty little patterns on it. And I thought I'd go around the side of the lid with this and press the clay into it. And I'll show you how nicely it holds the pattern. Now I learned a little trick, and that is to put it in the freezer for a few minutes. And that'll stiffen it up just a little bit so that you can peel it off easier without messing up the pattern, because it's awful gummy. But look how nicely it holds a pattern and all the detail that it holds. This is going to be gorgeous. And so my idea is to put it around the side of the lid, and then we'll paint it, of course. All right, so let's get a big heap and gob of this out. And all right, we're gonna go for it. I'll add this extra clay. Let's get the air bubbles out. I don't want any big giant bubbles. All right. I'm gonna get it sort of the shape, and then I'm gonna just kind of push it in and take my roller and try to distribute it as evenly as I can. feel like I almost have too much clay. It's awfully thick. That's alright if it's got a little thickness to it. It'll be easier to work with. Don't get it too thin. Alright. Let's go this way. And just make sure I got all those nooks and crannies. Oh, I see some I missed there. Gee. Try not to slice down too far and get my texture pattern mold. My texture mold. I don't want to slice it on accident. There we go. And here's some extra here. Boy, look at that. It's almost like gum, except it's dry. It's not sticky. It's awfully soft. Very moldable. I'm liking this. Alright, I'm just going to pat it in and make sure I've got all those wonderful textures and little patterns. And then don't worry about the edge. We'll trim that up real nice with a straight edge. Alright, when it's set a little bit, we'll get it off of here and then we'll trim the edges up nice and straight, and then we'll go all the way around the box. Alright, this is a really cool experiment, you guys. I've never used foam clay before, and I'm excited to see how this comes out. Alright, we got to be about the same all the way around. I'm going to say that's about a 1/16 of an inch thickness. I don't know if you can see that. This will be the back side. I just stuck my fingernail in it, so it won't show. In fact, we might even want to score it so it sticks better. But that's all right. We got lots of time for that. Right now, I would just want it to set up just a little bit. So I'm going to start off with 10 minutes in the freezer just to see if I can get it to stiffen up a little bit, and we'll be right back. Okay, it's been in the freezer for 10 minutes. And I wouldn't recommend going any further than that because it already feels kind of stiff and I'm a little worried. I don't want to change it or have it crack on me. I'm hoping it's still nice and pliable. Oh my. Well, I think the 10-minute trick worked. Look at that. Oh, wow. I'm so impressed with that. Isn't that neat? All right, here's my plan. I laid down a piece of wax paper, hoping it won't stick to it and that I'll be able to get it back up. I'm going to work quickly before it warms up too fast. Okay, so I've got just a few drops of water in this tiny little dish here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's maybe half a teaspoon. And I'm going to take a little bit of clay and I'm going to make what they call a slip. If you've ever worked with clay, you might be familiar with the term, but basically you're just kind of making a glue out of the same material, the same clay that you're working with. I don't know if you can hear all that racket in the background, but that's my cats. They decided to play. You know the rule. Mommy pushes record on the video camera, and that means everybody needs to play and make racket. Oh, I love my kitties. Our mommy kitty had 4 kittens. I have other videos to put up with about those kittens I need to finish. I did one when she was pregnant, and then I did another short one. They were like a day old. I don't know if that's good enough. It doesn't seem to be mixing very well. Anyway, Mike and I are both animal lovers, and she ended up with 4 kittens. And we hunted for homes, and we only found a home that was acceptable. Not actually that picky, but you know, I want to make sure they go to good homes. And we found a lady, and she was wonderful. So we were able to place one of them, but The other 3 we ended up keeping because we just couldn't find homes, and well, you know how that goes. Now we're all attached and we love you and stuff. I've got Bear, the biggest kitty, staring at me right now. Just wondering what I'm doing. Alright, so I'm just going to make kind of a glue. And I don't know if that's quite... I'm going to put just a few more drops of water. Because I want to be able to paint it. You see, I want to paint it on to stick our texture on with. But I don't want it to add bulk behind it. I just want to use it as a glue. You see? It's not quite dripping off my spoon yet. I think I'm going to use my other tool here. See if I get a little more traction with that. Alright, well, I can tell it's going to take more than this to do all 4 sides. But I just kind of, I'm experimenting, you guys. I feel like I'm in a laboratory. This is too cool. Okay. There's still some lumps in that. Alright, but at least I think it's paintable now. Spreadable with a brush. Oh. Don't forget to close up your clay, guys. I should be molding one in the freezer right now. But I wanted to get one on to show you what I'm going to do. Let's get this scrap clay. Ooh, get your knife out of the way. Look there. I'm not even following my own rules. Okay. What did I do with my paintbrush? Alright. I wanted to wash it out real good, so I had left it at the sink. Alright, let's see here. First of all, oh, I'm so pleased it's still rubbery and not gooey. That trick of shoving it in the freezer for less than 10 minutes, especially if it's thin, really works to set it up for you so you can glue it onto stuff. Remember that trick. I'm glad I learned that. That's a neat thing to know. Oh, look at that. It's not painting on worth a darn, is it? Okay, well, it's kind of like not wanting to... Ooh, it's gumming up. I wonder if I'm going to have a problem with this. Look at that. It just kind of come back off, doesn't it? Well, what do you know? All right, now I want my flowers going up, and the box goes like this. So this is the top, my pattern is going up, meaning the flowers in the pattern are growing up rather than down in the pattern. Okay, that's kind of cool. Now, question is, will it really adhere? Okay, what should I do here? Let's see. You can't push on the pattern or you'll ruin it because it's wet clay, right? So I can't go pushing down on the pattern too much. I guess that's just beautiful. I can't wait to see it painted. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and mold up some more, and you've already seen me push it into the mold, right? Did you need to see it again? I'm just kidding. I'll meet you back here after I get another one out of the freezer. Okay, panel number 2. I can see I didn't make the corner again, darn it. Look how easy that peels off. That time I did it for 8 minutes because this is nice and thin. And I didn't want to freeze it. I better be careful laying this on the pattern, huh? Maybe I ought to do this. Let's get her trimmed up first. I've got another batch of slip ready to go. All right. Lay this down carefully. How much border did I give it before? Not really much. This is the top. I did a little bit. I remember I gave it a little overhang. Oh, this is sticking. I better work quick. Can you see? Let's move this. Okay. Okay, it has completely dried now, and I'm really surprised. it has only been about, I'm going to say 18 hours. And when you look this material, this foam clay up online, it says anywhere from 24 to 48 hours. So I'm thinking I lucked out on the time just because I'm using such a thin amount and it's allowing it to dry so much quicker. But the pattern on it, the way it holds a pattern is just wonderful. I'll tell you what, I'm going to be using this stuff again. Okay, so here's the top of our box. And I'm thinking we need a pretty border around here. And so I'm going to prepare a sheet here to put in the freezer for a few minutes so that I can work with it. And I'm going to make a border for the top of our box. And I have a couple of different ideas, so I'm just going to play here a minute. I'm not real sure what's going to work. We're just going to have to kind of make this up as we go along. Just like I always do. That's the fun of it. This stuff is fun. Look at that. That's probably more than I'm going to need, but that's all right. If you work it like this, you can get a little bit of the bubbles out. And that helps it from poofing up. It doesn't poof up a lot. I guess it does a tiny bit, but it's not that detectable. It pretty much just kept its shape. I don't really see much poofing of it. All right, my idea is to make a rope. It's so soft. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this to be a consistent size. It'd be helpful if I could use both hands. I need some weight on this paper. That's a little better. A little. Okay. Okay, that already looks better, but I'm not quite done yet. Okay, I'm going to take this tool, and it's got a ball on the end. See there? And I'm going to go around and I'm going to mark this clay and make a design. Okay. I'm glad I did this first and let it dry good, because I wouldn't have been able to hang on to it to do this part. So it's important to not rush a project like this and let it dry in between the different stages so you don't mess up all your hard work. And it's clay, right? So if you mess up, you can kind of smooth it out and fix it. That's looking better. hear you, kitties. Doesn't sound like you're doing stuff you're supposed to. AKA in trouble. Like they're listening. I think they're just playing with a paper stack. There. That's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, I think that's gonna look really nice when we get it all painted. Okay. Now, that's not the only thing I want to do. Alright. I have an idea for a decorative top to the box. I'm gonna make a little bottle. Okay. And then I'm gonna make a couple more little balls. Several more of these. And these balls don't have to be perfect, okay? I just want this one to be semi-round. The rest don't matter because we're gonna squish them anyway. I'm just basically getting, what I'm doing is measuring it out the clay. Just makes what I'm about to do a lot easier, and you'll see what I mean here in just a second. Alright, now I'm gonna want a couple of larger ones. Although that might be too big, but we'll see. Okay. Now, I'm wondering, I probably, as usual, well, maybe not. I was going to say, I may need to go to the freezer with this again, but I'm actually not doing too bad of a job. All right, here's my idea. So you take one of these little balls, whoops, hopefully it's not sticking to you. Oh my goodness, I got it all under my nail. Look at that. Normally it doesn't really stick too bad to your hands. I just happen to get a bunch under there. Okay. These are about 4 minutes. Actually, it was 5 minutes, excuse me. All right. I'm going to take the largest ball and shape it back into a ball. I had squished it down so it wouldn't roll off my paper in the freezer. And just get it back to a round shape. Next, I'm going to take one of my small pancakes. I think it might be easier if I go like this and peel it off the paper. I want a small one, but not quite that small. Okay, and I'm gonna stick it onto the ball, like so. Don't smash it all the way down. And then I'm going to take another little pancake here, hold the ball up to where I last put it, and I'm going to overlap that last petal there. See, we're building a flower. Okay, and you're going to just keep working your way around and overlap it a little bit each time. Now, This is going to be really hard to do this one-handed. Keep having to set it down, but these pieces are so thin that if it rolls, it's going to smash the petals I just put on. So, I have another idea. Let's take our squishy glue, which is not that squishy anymore. I'll dip my finger in some water and thin that out. Alright, I don't want that big of an area, but a small circle like that, where we can stick one of our smaller pancakes right in the center there, see? If I can get it to stay. And now we can mount this ball. Oops. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to get it centered. Alright. Now, I'm going to pick another small pancake, peel it off, and work my way around from the last one, overlapping it like so. I take my little tool here, help me get it off my finger, and carefully squish it onto there. I need to find my, oh, this silicone tool is pretty nice. See, it's got a wedge, and I can shove that in there like that, including smashing this down on the box better. Okay, this might help me get these up too. Sure does. Hey, that's nice. Then I don't have to pick up the whole paper. Boy, we're just learning, aren't we? Okay, so I'm going to go about halfway around from where that last petal was. See that there? I'm going to shove that edge down in there. And pick this up and just kind of move it around and pull it down just a hair. Like that. And if you ruffle the edges a little bit, hey, that's okay, because that's how real flowers are, huh? Boy, I feel like this isn't sticking to the box. If it doesn't stick good, you can just hot glue it on, and that'll work just fine. This stuff doesn't come off a vinyl tablecloth, but it comes right off of wax paper better. I don't know if you can hear all that. Yeah, that's my cats playing. All right, next kind of a small one here. Let's get this one. And you kind of work your way out and use bigger and bigger ones as you go. But, you know, the first round you want to kind of use similar size. There. And you get another one. Oops. You know what? See how I wrinkled that on accident? That's actually a happy accident. In fact, it's okay to pinch them a little before you put them on. Just a little, see? You see how I did that? And then put it down. Because petals on flowers often have a little wrinkle or, you know, divots in them. Okay, that's pretty awesome. In fact, picking them up and having them wrinkle a little is ideal. That just adds to the realism, adds to the character. Oh, it's already feeling like hard foam. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it. Look at this. This is, yeah, it feels like foam now. It's, you can't really make it stick anymore to itself. So this is pretty much cured. That was quick. Wow. Okay, got a fresh piece of wax paper here. I thought while the rose is drying, go ahead and make some leaves to go along with it. Now I'm hoping to not have to freeze this. It's awful gummy. I don't know, I may. Let's try it. All right. Well, I can already tell that's probably too much clay for that leaf. Hey, I like that shape. What do you think? That's a happy accident. Look at that. Now, again, the trick to having these look really cool is to make sure they're super thin, because if you have a fat edge, it just doesn't look as nice. I'm going to draw a line in it, and I'm going to put some veins in it, and some interest in it to make it look like a leaf. And then I'm going to pinch the edges and to a point. A little bit better. There. Give it a point. Make sure the edges are nice and thin. All right. Give it a little, let's see here. Give it a little score. See that? Gotta be careful and not go too deep. It's so soft. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to imagine it being folded up. All right, now imagine one off to the side, and maybe another one or two down the vine, maybe two on the flower. We'll make ourselves a few to choose from. I think I have too much clay there because this needs to go thinner. A little bit of curling too is okay. But like I say, you want it to have basically nice and thin on the edges. Not too fat or it looks weird. So keep the bulk of the clay in the middle. at least it'll be a little more consistent. And I can go back and fix any little bumps that are too overt. Whoops. Just smooth out any marks you make that you don't care for. And try it again. Okay. That's pretty good. This looks fat to me right there. I don't like that. Thin it out a little more. Okay, and some bumpies, little ridges. Gives it just a little more character. Okay, those are pretty good looking. Oh, I don't have much of a tab on this one, do I? To stick under the flower, just in case. I need a little more clay to secure it under the flower is what I'm thinking. And or pinch it around a vine. Okay. Cool. All right, everything is nice and dry now. It's pliable, it's movable, it's stiff foam. It's really neat stuff. All right, first thing we're gonna do is paint the side of the box. Our beautiful pattern here. And what I wanna do is paint it a real dark color like this. And then we'll highlight all of those wonderful raised little areas. Okay, let's start out with some burnt umber. Oh boy, Ducky decided to join in. I hear you, Duck. I gave you some water and some treats. You didn't see what I put in your dish? Goodness, she's decided to tell me all about it. I think I want to give it just a hint of copper. Just a hint, not a lot. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to need more of this dark. We're just getting a smorgasbord here. Oh. Turn this on its side so we can see what we're doing here. And I got my brush just slightly moistened, and I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of everything and just get going. And the paint goes on pretty good. You just kind of gotta stab at it to get in all the nooks and crannies. So when we do the highlight, look how easy that's going to be. See how the pattern shows up when you just lightly brush it like that? We'll highlight that on top of the dark when we're done, and it's going to be gorgeous. I can't wait. Mike and I are intending to make now that my kids are grown and gone, we've always wanted to make one of their old bedrooms into a craft room, and I got all my stuff in there. I just need to do it. It's one of those things where I'm constantly working on projects that I want to give as gifts, and that's another lesson, isn't it? You need to take time and give yourself a gift once in a while. Give yourself something you've always wanted. Transfer that room into a crafting room. Fix up that area you want for potting flowers or whatever your desire is. Take some time to realize it and make it happen. That looks good to me. We're gonna wait and paint all these separately, I think, because I don't want to get paint on the box. How's this doing? This one's all done, I think. We'll see. All right, for this to dry and for me to not have to set it down, let's see here. Let's get imaginative. Will this work? Sure it will. All right, I'll just let it balance on there and dry. That way the edges don't have to touch the table. See that? I just set it on my glue bottle. All right, meet you back here in a few minutes when it's dry. This is just plain old acrylic paint. It dries within about 10-15 minutes. All right, meet you back. Okay, our flowers, our leaves, they all are nice and dry. And I think they came out really cool. Let's paint them. And the box is just a little bit damp, but for the most part, it's dry. I just want to give it a few more minutes, and you see that beautiful pattern on there. I'm trying to turn it so the light catches it. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. And then we'll put a nice goldish bronzy rim around the edge again, and then highlight this as well. All right, so that's still just a little damp, and let's paint our flower. Now I want to go with kind of, I'm going to say orangey coral colors. So I'm going to start with some yellow because I want the flower to be beautiful, vibrant, bright color in the middle. And then as we go towards the edges of the petals, I'm going to get a little bit darker. But for the most part, I want it to be real a light color. We're just going to barely put a little of that. And then we'll tip the edges, and you'll see how we do that in a minute. All right, now I'm going to switch paint brushes. This is a smaller brush than the one I used on the box, and I think it'll be easier to paint the flower. I've left the point on. I haven't shaved it off flat yet because I still need it to kind of help me hold on to it. And we'll do that. Whoops, what am I doing? I don't want that first. I want the light color first. Start with light. And I'm gonna really get in there, get deep down in the cracks. And you know what? If a little white shows through, that's okay, because that just makes it even lighter, doesn't it? You know what? I just get so excited because, you know, as you see this start to come to life, it's magical. It really is. It's fun. Let's paint our leaves. Let's start with this. And I want regular green, but I want a little darker. Nice dark green. All right? And I'm gonna go along the veins. Actually, we probably should just paint the whole thing. Come back and give it highlights like we did the flower. Ooh, that's beautiful. All right, let me set it. I don't know if I can set it. Let me turn it over. There. Get it up here. Well, that covered all the dark, didn't it? I got too much. You know what? I think I need to let it dry a little bit and then come back with a lighter green. Let me just let that sit. And keep going here. I think I might switch brushes to an even tinier brush and then go back and do the light green to try to mimic some veining. Boy, that adds even more depth. You see that there? Just a little golden green does wonders. All right. And it's kind of bright, or lightly. Hit the edges first. Oop. Overdid it a little. Have no fear. Water takes care of that. So just come back over it. And I don't mind the edges being a little bit gilded. That's cool. We just don't want it super stark. A little more realistic. Boy, that sure adds a lot. That's amazing. The transformation when you just do a little bit on top like that. To highlight all those little nooks and crannies. Wait till we do the side of the box. We'll do that next. Oh, that's gonna be wonderful. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Oh, look at that. This is the bottom of the box. I'm painting the rim of it. The top is over here. I'll bring that out in a minute and we'll do the sides. And I'm thinking we should highlight the sides in this similar bronzy, goldy color. It almost looks like leather, doesn't it? Isn't that neat? Wow, I'm so pleased with that. All right. It's cool too because it kind of changes colors in the light as you turn it. Oh, isn't that pretty? Get ready, folks. This is pure magic. Look how gorgeous that is, you guys. You see the depth that's picking up? That is just beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It looks like some kind of an antique. Who would have thought this was from a cardboard box, you guys? Give us a little highlight on the corners, just to kind of continue the antique look. It's amazing how you can take something so simple like a cardboard box and just use your imagination. You know, now that I've been thinking about it, I've been creating with cardboard boxes my whole life. Who hasn't? I mean, as a child, we play with cardboard boxes. Just because you can, just let your creativeness go and flow. Well, that's certainly getting dry. Okay guys, meet you back in a bit after these parts dry, and then we'll start an assembly. But isn't that wonderful how that turned out? Look at that. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay guys, meet you back in a bit after this dries. Okay, everything's nice and dry, and I'm ready to assemble our flowers and leaves. Now, I've got a hot glue gun going over here, and I set it on a piece of wax paper. And because it kind of comes out in globs, I want to make myself a little puddle of hot glue. And also, because I'm working with foam, I want to let that sit before I put it on directly. And you just let it sit for a second, not... Oh, I forgot to trim my flower, guys. I want to shave off a spot. To make it flat. And I was wondering how I was going to do that. That didn't seem to want to shave. Well, now that worked quite a bit better. There, now it'll be able to sit. It won't have that point on it. And it's actually good that it's rough. Now I'm going to dip it in this hot glue. Give it a little more. Geez, it's stringy. And I'm going to put it right here. Oh, that's gorgeous. Okay. Now, I'm thinking of the leaves going something like this. This one seems to be curving in, so I'm going to put that one there and this one here. And we may have to trim those tails. In fact, I think I'm gonna. I thought I was gonna need them. And I actually did use them because I used them to hold on to when I was painting them. So that's fine. This side too. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of that tail. I'm gonna leave it a little bit on there to put the glue on. All right, so we'll get some glue on there. Put some underneath. And we're gonna stick it right about there. I'm gonna really shove it under there. All right, And I'm actually doing all right, putting it right on here. I thought maybe it would come out too thick, but I'm doing okay by applying it right onto the thing. Doesn't seem to be melting the foam. I thought maybe it might, but it's not. Oh, you guys, look how gorgeous. Oh my, that's beautiful. All right, now I thought these other pieces, I could do something like that. I'm gonna lay them down first to see what I'm doing here. And I think the larger one maybe here. Maybe something like that. And then I thought we could put this one along the vine. Like that. And perhaps put it underneath. I don't know. Let me fiddle with it a minute here and see. Almost wish this had a stem. Did this one have a stem? Yeah, this one has a little bit more of a pokey outy thing on there. Actually looks like it could go on there better onto that stem. In fact, I think I'm going to attach these two first like that. Let's see if I can do it. Can we do it? Of course we can. I'm dangerous with a hot glue gun. Look at that. Cool. All right, now we're gonna put a little on the end of that. I'm gonna get some underneath too, see? Don't want to do it right over my box, but I want to show you. Right over the box might not be cool because I might miss. All right, now, right about, ooh, don't stick to me. I want those leaves separated a little. You don't have time to move it much, guys. So have a plan. Once it's stuck, it's stuck. Oh, that's nice. All right, then I say we put this one here. Should we? Let me turn it up and look here. I don't know if I want it right in the middle. Do we want it right in the middle or off to the side a little? I always think, artistically speaking, you kind of want to be not necessarily right in the middle. Maybe something like that. I kind of like it too when it goes over the edge a little, but then you risk having the tip break off over time. So it's probably best to protect it and have it up and over the edge. All right, I'm just gonna put some glue on, and where it lands, it lands. It's gonna be pretty no matter what. Don't overthink it, guys. Here we go. Oh, that helps. Look at the back and see where it will go best. You can kind of see where it fits. Hey, that's cool. Maybe push it down just a little so it's not hiding quite so bad. Hey now, hey now. That's gorgeous. Look at that, you guys. Wow. Cool. Oh, I just wanted to show you something real quick. Look at this is just some of my collection. Oh my gosh, I better turn it around so you can see. I've got all kinds of doodads in there, a lot of which I made by hand, some with resin, some with polymer clay, and all of it, you know, I usually make into jewelry as gifts, or, you know, I just love, oh, that's to be a back to something, but I just love to create. I've got all kinds of cool stuff I've made over the years. Look at my little pumpkin. Can you see that? My fingers are dirty from working with this project. Oh, look at that. Can you see that rose in there? Yeah. So yeah, I've created all kinds of cool stuff. So I really appreciate it when you guys watch my channel, because I get to be creative with you and share this with you. And it's a lot of fun, and it's a type of neat meditation. I'm going to unplug my glue gun. I can smell it. It's too hot. We're all done gluing. I think everything's on there good. You know what's left to do? Varnish it. That's what we have to do. We need to give it a coat to seal it all. Well, the paint seems to be holding. I didn't rip anything off when I didn't scuff it up or anything when I pulled the lid off, and it's snug fitting. So that's a good sign. That's a great sign. It's going to be a sturdy box. Yeah, all this layers of stuff we put on it. Yeah, who would have thunk a cardboard box would turn out that beautiful, that cool. I still see little looks like cobwebs of hot glue. There we go. Kind of leaves a trail sometimes. All right, let's varnish this baby. Coat of Mod Podge to seal it. And you want to give it a nice thick layer. There we go. Get that edge. Now, this dries nice and clear, of course, or I wouldn't do it. But it's going to seal all this paint. And although it won't be totally waterproof, it'll certainly protect it better than if it didn't have it. You wouldn't want to submerge the box in water anyway. But if it accidentally got a little spill on it, this will allow it to hopefully wipe right off if you get to it in time. This seals it up pretty good. All right, I think I'll leave the bottom for last. Spread my fingers apart to hold it here. Whoops. There I go, dipping my brush too deep again. You know, it helps if you can see what you're doing. There we go. All right. Looks good. Seal up those cracks. All right. All right, Mod Podge is just a little damp, but the sides feel pretty good. Look at that, you guys. Oh, isn't that pretty? I'm so pleased. Okay, guys, it's awful damp. I need to... Let's see, which side's the driest? I guess this side. I let it dry like that. Okay, that looks good. Meet you back here in about 20 to 30 minutes. Of the lid of the box is a little plain here. So I got to digging around and I found all of these wonderful little garnets. Get them out here where you can see them. I've got some garnets and some orange carnelian and some amber, and I thought that these would just be wonderful in addition to this little bit of this plain area here. So I'm going to be adding that. Stay tuned. I'm going to warm up my glue gun. In the meantime, let's line the bottom, the inside of the box. All right, I'm going to measure the inside here. All right, 4 1/4 inches by 3. 4 1/4 by 3. Okay. Simple Simon. Oops. I've got a piece of thin cardboard here, and we're going to measure out 4 1/4 by 3. It doesn't have to be completely spot on, but you do want it to fit fairly nice, right? Geez, that still looks wrong. Did I even measure it right? No. It's more like that. That's why my stepdaddy always said, measure twice, cut once. And I would always tease him and say, cut 3 times and then measure? And he'd always look at me sideways. No! All right, let's just do this. I have this pretty piece of yellow felt, and I thought that would just go so nice with this beautiful rose we put on top. And I thought that would be a real nice way to line this. Miter your corners just a little. Not a lot, just a little. I'm gonna say less than a 1/2 inch. And the reason for that is so that it'll glue down a little nicer. And then you can fold it over and cut the edges off. Look at that! Isn't that cool? It makes it nicer and just a little more finished. A nice yellow felt bottom. All right, here's my idea. These little tiny garnets, aren't they pretty? I'm gonna just put them random on here, but not super random. Well, first of all, I want one here. Isn't that great? You see those pretty garnets on there? And the amber and the orange carnelian and that gorgeous design on the side. Oh my gosh. And now we have the bottom nice and lined with pretty yellow felt to match the beautiful rose on top, and it all fits perfectly. I can't wait to give this to my stepmom for her birthday. Wow. Not only is it beautiful, but it's really groovy. Thanks for watching. If you like these kind of projects, please leave a comment below and let me know. Also, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. That really helps my channel to get noticed. And I really appreciate all of you guys, all of my viewers. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be able to do this channel. Thank you to all my people who have contributed. There is a icon under my video, a super thanks icon. And if you would click that and donate to my channel, that really helps me to keep these videos coming for you. All right, guys, you have a wonderful rest of your day. Wow, I'd say that is extremely groovy. Thanks, guys.